start this space up. Shout out to all my people coming in on YouTube. Shout out to anybody that's going to be coming into the Twitter space as well, too, guys. We're starting this thing up tonight. We're going to be talking about a small town in Alabama that the residents are saying they're being flooded out by the state in pursuit. The state's trying to actually snatch up their property. So we're going to be discussing that tonight. Small town called Shiloh in Alabama. This story was on the Newstoter.com platform, and I tweeted it out maybe about a month ago, tweeted out this story, and I wanted to go ahead and touch up on it. I didn't get a chance to cover it, so I figured tonight would be as good as any night to go ahead and touch up on this story. We talk about towns being flooded. We talk about the highways being ran through them. We talk about being burnt down and stuff like that. We talk about all the towns after slavery and during Jim Crow that was destroyed. Well, we see that some of this stuff is still going on to this day. This is a town that was has a decent amount of generational wealth passed down from family. A lot of the property was just, passed down to the actual descendants. So I want to go ahead and touch up on this tonight. I know, there's pretty much anybody that can speak about this. Everybody knows about it because a lot of us have had family members. We've had family that have lost property. We've know quite a bit of people that have been squeezed out of some of these historically black towns as well, too. We're talking about the state of Alabama. We know exactly how Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, how pretty much all of these states, especially in the South, how they get down. They don't make any secret about it. So they're trying to go ahead and trying to cover their tracks as much as possible. So we want to touch up on that, bring a little bit of attention. Atlanta Black Star, they published this article about a month ago. ABC News covered it as well, too. So, we want to go ahead. We want to get it in. We want to talk about this. I want to go ahead and get this story, help to gain even more traction as much as possible. I know that's not always easy. I'm going to put that story up in the Jumbotron as well, too, so you guys can get a chance to go ahead and retweet it out. Because like I said, the story is about a month old that we went ahead and had it on the platform, and I went ahead and tweeted it out. So I'm trying to go ahead right now and put that up in the Jumbotron as well, too, so everybody can get a chance to retweet the story out as well, too. I want people to understand what's going on. Nightfall, I see you over there on YouTube. All the people over there at YouTube, guys, make sure y'all definitely like, share, subscribe, comment on a night's broadcast. Definitely go ahead and do that. All my people over here on X as well, too. What's up, Twizzle? I see you up in the spot as well, too. And, man, when I read this story, y'all going to be like, damn, this is stuff that we heard about 100 years ago, and it's still going on in 2024. Just, the type of thing that makes you shake your head, scratch your head. But, it is what it is, and it's up to us to go ahead and try to get these type of stories out there as much as possible, do what we can do. Maybe down the road or something, we can do something for the actual city as well, too, to help this story gain even more traction. They're trying to put that pressure on the state of Alabama. They had a federal lawsuit as well, too. So I'm going to go ahead and give me about a second. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to touch up on this thing, and hopefully you guys are ready to conversate and have a great discussion. I see a bunch of the fellas up in here. What's up, Twizzle? What's up, Marcus? What's up, Ellis? What's up, Tech? What's up, HD3? Is that Empress at the bottom? I can't tell, but shout out to you as well, too. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this thing rolling because I want everybody I want to hear what you guys got to say about that. This ain't 1865, this ain't 1880. So when people start telling you why black people ain't making the kind of strides that they should be making in this country, and stop coming up with excuses that the white man's holding you down and this and that or whatever, say, I would like for you to go ahead and show me something equivalent of any other group in this country that this constantly keeps happening to. This ain't no offshoot. This ain't no one-time thing or something like that. This constantly happens. So y'all bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead and as a matter of fact, Twiz, I'm gonna bring you up here as a speaker just in case, because I want to make sure that you guys can hear me as I'm reading. Because sometimes when I'm gonna go to the actual site and read the story. So I just want to make sure that you can hear me before I start reading. I just want to make sure that you can hear me. Because sometimes we go to the site and you read the actual articles. People say, well, I didn't hear what you said. So Twizzle, what's going on with you? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I can't complain. I kind of wasn't ready to speak. You sent me the mic, so I had to show out.
No, I just want.
We spoke about this the other day. It's all good. It's no problem, man. I ain't tripping.
No, I just wanted you on because, like I said, when I started reading it, I just want to make sure that the room and you can hear me and everything else. That's why I sent it to you.
Everything is good. Everything is good. Like, come on, you don't never have no issues. It's just sometimes like when you have spaces like this, that's when other people who try to come in have issues because they try to monetize and limit the room. That's why a lot of people have to fall down and come back up. But just longer, like if you have a co-host, you will always be cool. You know what I'm saying? But if we're not in here arguing and fussing or like you say, screaming and yelling and calling people names because you heavily monetize your space. You were probably the one spaces they probably might kick you out of here in a minute. I'm surprised you lasted this long for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not messy, you're positive, and you got a lot going on. So shout out to you, man. But didn't we talk about this a few days ago? Because I remember his name, Shiloh, Alabama.
I don't know.
We spoke about this because this is familiar. And we was talking about the flooding of black towns, and I brought up Lake Lanier. I could have sworn
you may have mentioned it because I tweeted out about a month ago.
Yeah, maybe this the ancestors coming to us, calling us out to speak to us because this sounds so familiar that we spoke about this. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they're doing because one thing I'm noticing with this high immigrant population, you got the Asians over here trying to buy land and take over and reinvent their whole things. And these city councilmen and these city politicians, they're selling out for the bag. So I wouldn't be surprised who's behind this. Like you said, we do have to get behind these people and support it, even if we have to do a pull-up like we did in Mason, Tennessee. Shout out to KD and a few other the queens in here who started that movement and put it to attention on how the Toyota or some car plant was going to take over that city and put one of those electric car battery plants there. We need to do the same thing for this, So shout out to you, Newstoter, for bringing this up. But I could have sworn we spoke about this, man, because it's echoing me. Like, I feel like I'm having a deja vu moment right now. You know what I'm saying? I love my playing there. Shout out to the room. Shout out to everybody in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Mark, what's up, Steph? You know what I'm saying?
It's a possibility, Twizza. Because like I say, I did this article. I tweeted out back in early November, so it's a possibility that we might have mentioned it as well too. Because I think we did in one space. We were talking about the flooding and stuff like that, how they do these townships. So that's a real possibility. Shout out DJ. I see you done made it up in the space as well too. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to because it's from our curation partner, Atlanta Black Star. Shout out to them for always putting out great content, whether it's news, entertainment. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go straight to that article and I'm gonna read it directly off of their website. It was curated on the Newstoter.com platform and it was published by Atlanta Black Star. So let me go ahead real quick. And I'm gonna go there. And Twizza, if you have any problems hearing me read, because like I say, sometimes with the volume, if you have any problems hearing me read, just let me know and I'll start over. But let me go ahead and get that article. Alrighty, give me 1 second. This is from Atlanta Black Star. Shout out to everybody coming up in the space. Y'all make sure y'all retweet this space out, guys. This is racism. Small black Alabama town accuses state of intentionally flooding their community, causing homes to sink to force them off property, distraught residents say. When it rains in Shiloh, a small predominantly black community in Coffee County in southern eastern Alabama, misery follows. It's been that way since 2018 when work began on the expansion of US 84 from 2 lanes to 4. Flooding is a constant, leading to persistent issues with septic tank overflows as well as an invasion of snakes, primarily water moccasins, rats, and mosquitoes. Residents are struggling to keep up with rising homeowners insurance brought on by the flooding. Many homes have gone unrepaired. Homes are sinking, homes are cracking, community resident Timothy Williams told ABC News. He said the town was put into a bowl that has damaged everything in its path, wiping away generational wealth. 2 years ago, Shiloh's black residents filed a civil rights complaint with the federal government alleging unfair treatment. Earlier this month, the feds wrapped up their investigation, announcing a settlement with the Alabama Department of Transportation to erect a drainage system to curb the flooding, a first step towards addressing broader needs of the community, U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said in a statement, but there's no guarantee of any compensation for what's already been lost. And the Alabama Department of Transportation continues to deny violating the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits race discrimination in any federally funded endeavor. The Alabama DOT is not admitting to any wrongdoing, and the Federal Highway Administration is also not concluding that the state agency has violated any rule according to the voluntary agreement. 16 residents of Shiloh have signed a petition asking for compensation fund that would provide relocation assistance to move to the other side of the highway, which doesn't experience flooding or repair the homes for those who remain. But there is fear among the community, fears of retribution. Williams speaks on behalf of the community because many are fearful of retaliation. When we need you to fix the problem and then compensate the people, he told AL.com, make the people whole, because why did we have to be traumatized for 6 years and you know you did it intentionally to get us off the property, and everybody's not going to. They're just not going to give up their property. Leaving Shiloh is not an option for most who live there. Black-owned properties have been passed down from generation to generation, a great source of pride for the community, said Williams, who lives in the home he inherited from his grandmother. Everyone there is kin, he said. We call Shiloh God's country because it's in the Bible. Shiloh is known for greatness. Now it's something far less, smelly and damp, full of croaking frogs and raw sewage. Williams' home is one of 13 directly impacted by the flooding. He shared a recent letter from a remodeling company that declined to work on his property because of safety concerns. Upon further evaluation, there are substantial structural issues easily visible from the cracks in the walls, foundations, and sagging roof. The general manager of the company wrote, it is a recommendation of our company that the residence is unsafe, so JMB Service will not perform any remodeling. So why were drainage pipes directed into Shiloh? Williams said it's not hard to figure out. This is racism. There's no other way around it, Williams said, and they don't even want to correct the problem. Williams and his neighbors believe that the Alabama DOT discriminated against them in its design of the highway drainage system. They noted how all the drains from the new stretch of highway all empty out near homes in Shiloh, while the farmland just down the road owned by whites avoided any runoff. While the state has denied any responsibility for the flooding, they have paid 3 residents $5,000 or less after they voiced concerns, according to ABC. But that help came with restrictive covenants on their property deeds that prevented them and future owners of their homes from ever suing the state. Robert Bullard, a scientist, also known as a father of environmental justice, said the recent agreement does not fulfill government's obligations to the residents of Shiloh. To achieve a solution, the Shiloh residents need to be made whole, but beyond fixing the highway flooding, Bullard said in a statement on the website for his Center for Environmental and Climate Justice. All righty. Shout out to everybody that's coming into the space. Shout out to all you guys on YouTube as well too. Twizzle, could you hear me okay on there? Could you hear me?
Indeed.
All righty.
Yes, indeed.
That's serious, ain't it? That's serious. That is really, really serious, man. And this happened back in 2018. We in 2024. They got it for the little peanuts that the actual people that they did actually throw a little money to. First off, $5,000. Who knows how much damage was actually done to these people's house? The 3 people that actually took the $5,000. And not only that, but they were pretty much by signing and taking that money, they were told that, hey, you guys can't file any kind of suits, anything else against us down the road. So that's one way of, entrapping people that way as well too. And like I say, man, this is something that goes all the way. DJ, what's up? I see you up here as well too.
That sounds like regentrification to me all over. That's what they did out here in Oakland in the late 90s and early 2000s when we had the mayor at the time who became our governor, Jerry Brown. When he became the mayor, she sold all prominent land for cheap to major real estate investors. You know what I'm saying? Like the neighborhood where I live in, the Acorn, we had city blocks. He sold one city block for $1 to a major real estate investor. And that's what they do, and that's what they're doing right now. They had like people in historic parts of the town with old style Victoria homes that were worth $1 million. They came in with that eminent domain law and made them take those checks, like you say, for $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. that's what they do. They force them to take their check. It's not they threaten to take their property. So that's what that sounds like to me. And we experienced that out here in the late 90s and early 2000s. So what you're saying is very familiar. That's an active tactic that they use. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. King Armstrong, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up, family? Peace. All right, now look at the government in Shiloh, Alabama. Right? Actually understand who the people are that live there. Who are they? What are their lineal ties to? Figure that out, then you will understand what the fuck is going on. What's been going? My bad.
Yo. Don't drop. Listen, let me tell everybody. Don't come in here cursing. Definitely do not drop no F bombs, no MFs. Just go ahead and speak.
I said my bad. Yeah. What I'm saying is, look at the people. Who are those people? I mean, think about what's going on. What's been going on. Shiloh, Alabama. Look who are the people who are in actual government, people that should be making the changes that have not been. It's not what you think it is. These people are brought and paid for. Niggas.
All right. Appreciate that, King Armstrong.
Hey, Newstoter.
Just come on, man.
Quick question. What's the position of Shiloh? Like, where is it at? Is it close towards the Gulf, or is it more inland?
It's near Montgomery. It's in Rainsville.
Is it close to like the Gulf?
Rainsville, Alabama, man.
I'm not too familiar with Alabama.
He's saying, is it close? Is it close to the Gulf? Is what he's saying. He doesn't.
No, it's close to Montgomery. Rainsville.
Never mind.
It's in the Black Belt.
Okay, so it's not near like the Gulf of New Mexico or anything like that.
Like, is it close to water?
Hey, King Armstrong, is it close to water? He wants to know.
Bruh, it's raining. You got lakes. You got certain little things going on around there. Like, you know, how you think anything is getting flooded? The only way things can get flooded is there has to be a water.
Hold on real quick, because Becky, mute your mic. I don't know if you're trolling or not, but go ahead and mute your mic and we'll get to you. Go ahead, King Armstrong.
Bro, look at.
Go ahead, you got it, King.
Like, we come in these spaces and we talk about certain things, and then like there's a whole bunch of finger pointing, and then there's like, you know, like the people that are there in the South, they understand what's going on and who what and why it's going on and things like. And then it's like we get on these spaces and act like, you know, what I mean, people don't know what the fuck going on. Like, man,
hey, I just told you not to curse, bruh. Come on. Okay, nigga, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but let me take your ass up out of here. I don't know. Go ahead, Twizzler.
I was just asking that because I know that China and India is trying to buy up a lot of properties towards the Gulf of Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, Texas and Arkansas just banned foreign companies or foreign countries from buying the land out there. You know, so they're trying their best about, you know, trying to get as much as they can. And that's why I asked, like, where is it at in Alabama? Like, is it close towards, like, as they call it, the Redneck Riviera or the water? That's why I was asking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's northern Alabama or southern Alabama. That's why.
All right. Yeah, I don't know either, Twizzler. That's what I was trying to figure out. What did you say?
Stay on your mic, Becky. Raise your hand if you want to come up here and speak. Stay on your mic.
Yeah, Becky, are you trolling in the space? Becky.
I'm staying on my microphone. I'm not trolling or whatever you call it. I'm just trying to talk.
Okay, well, you know, you have to, you gotta, you gotta,
That's
you gotta raise your hand, Becky, and then you raise your hand, we'll get to you. But since you didn't raise your hand, did you want to say something real quick?
I have something to say, and I'm raising my hand.
Okay, well, get it out, Becky.
Okay, here goes. That this has gone on for, and it's time someone said something.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Becky. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to say anything. I don't know what you trolling or whatever, but thank you, Becky. Let's get you up out of here. Um, but yeah, Twiz, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know exactly as well too. I've never actually been to Alabama.
I asked that because can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You there, Twizzle? Twizzle, you may have to drop down and come back up if you haven't. It sounds like you may be having some issues. Can you hear me, Twizzle? Okay, Twizzle, he's gonna drop down and come back up.
Did he say Rainsview or something like that?
I don't.
Alabama? What did he say?
I'm not sure, but go ahead, Big Hawk, if you want to say something.
No, I was trying to figure out what was happening with the title.
Okay, I don't know if you yeah, I just got through reading an actual article about the city of Shiloh in Alabama. The city is the residents are complaining that they're being flooded out by the actual by the Alabama DOT. They widened the highway 84 from 2 lanes to 4, and the runoff is coming into their city. So you got raw sewage, and you got, you know, the property's been damaged and everything else as well too. They actually did file a civil rights lawsuit, but you know, the city, the state of Alabama's playing stupid right now as well too. So it's pretty much the old thing. Even though we're in 2024, this, I guess this initially started taking place in 2018. It's pretty much that old story of, you know, when you have a black community, a black township, that they go out their way to go ahead and to damage it. And you know, it's a place that that with the houses, the property's been passed down from generation to generation. I'm not sure how big the actual city is. From my understanding, it's a pretty small city, so I don't know if it, you know, how many people are actually there. Nightfall says Shiloh is approximately 680 miles from the Gulf, so it's a pretty good ways away. But yeah, from my understanding, you know, I don't know exactly how many people there, or whatever. And shout out to you, Nightfall, for the contribution on Cash App. But you know, it's that same thing that when you have a black township and stuff like that, whether it's the highways, it's eminent domain, it's flooding, it's burning it down. It's always a way to go ahead and screw over, you know, these black townships. And like I said before, when the space first started, you won't find a comparison in Asian communities. You won't find a comparison in Latino and Hispanic communities. You don't find that in Arab communities. You only find it in these black communities. This is where this stuff happens at. And when people talk about, well, why can't black people build this and why can't black people maintain that? Well, whenever black people build it, maintain it, thrive with it, pass it down, create generational wealth for their family members, it's always a federal government that comes in there sticking their nose in black people's business. This is the federal government. Now, not the federal government, but this is a state government. So whether it's the state or it's the federal or it's a local government, it's always the government in the United States that's always undermining the actual, you know, the actual progress of black people. And people want to sit up and say black people are making excuses up and why can't you get your stuff together or whatever. But like I say, whenever you're doing that, then you have the government come in there and start interjecting themselves into it. And like they said before, the farmland in that area, you know, that's owned by the white people, they don't have any issue with the drain off. They're not having any runoffs, anything like that coming into that area. It's only in this black area that this stuff is happening to. So that's the issue right there. But Twizzle, go ahead. I know you was trying to figure out, I don't know if you heard me, but Nightfall on YouTube, he says that it's 680 miles away from the Gulf.
That's like, yeah, that's kind of far. That's like the distance from Redding, California to San Diego. Yeah, that's the difference. But I kind of got threw off on something.
Wait, what was?
Huh?
Well,
Go ahead. Who's somebody trying to say something?
Big Hawk said something.
I said, where was it at?
It's in Shiloh, Alabama. It's in Alabama. This place is in Alabama where this is taking place at.
It's 600 something miles north of the Gulf of Mexico, north towards the coast.
Well, I don't know if it's north, but I know you say 680 miles from the Gulf. So I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I've never been there, but just off of what he's saying, I mean, hey, that
Louisiana or Florida.
I've never been to Alabama. My family, because they had a reunion back in the early 2000s. On my mom's side, they had a family reunion in Alabama, but I didn't end up going. So, but I think they were I think it was Bruton, Alabama, where they went to. If I'm not mistaken, because my great aunt, she just passed away a few months ago, and she was like 90 some years old. 90 some years of age. So she just passed away maybe about, Aunt Phyllis must have passed away about 2 months ago, 2-3 months ago or something, maybe longer than that, maybe 3-4 months ago. She must have passed away. So I didn't go to the family reunion. So I can't tell you the geography of Alabama, but you towards it sound like you may have been there before yourself.
Nah, I'm staring at a map right now.
Oh, okay. You're looking at a map. I'm thinking you're just talking about experience. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I want to mention something, and it's kind of off topic, but it has a lot to do with what's going on in Shiloh, Alabama. Why I say that because it made me think about a lot of things that happened with the Me Too movement, how they went after a lot of our prominent black people, like how they went after R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and how they going after Puffy, now Jay-Z. It really made me think that for the simple fact, when some black people didn't rally around our black people, that made us look weak and it made us look vulnerable. So they saw a chink in our armor. So now they felt like they could come after us with no consequences or repercussion. That's why they're trying to take our cities and a lot of our entities. And that's why they're trying to take our culture with hip hop and a lot of other things. I think we are in a good position right now with this Daniel Penny thing to where we need to get on code and stand firm on something to let these motherfuckers know that we
language, y'all killing me with this language.
Yeah. But it's the late night. It's how it is on the late night. You had date.
Towards you breaking up. Can you hear me? You breaking up. Yeah, you in the Matrix now. You in the Matrix.
I just want,
man. Yeah, Twizzle's in the Matrix. Twizzle, you may come back up when you can. Let me read a comment. DJ, I see you with your hand up. What's up, Miss Val? What's up, Rella? What's up, Black Majority State? What's up, Black Pressure? Pressure, you was up here the other night to speak, but you ain't never speak. So what's up? What's up with my girl Jess Cakes down there as well too? Stephanie, what's up with all of y'all? Come on up here, man. This is a very, very interesting discussion. This is very important. I know a lot of times we have these spaces and stuff like that, but this is current news. This is important. This is something that impacts people directly. So I definitely want to hear what our people got to say about this right here, because this is some of the spaces we have are more serious than others. I consider this to be an ultra serious space right here tonight. This is very important, and it impacts Black people. Even though this may be a small town in Alabama, it could easily be a place where you're living at. You could easily have family members in a place like that. In 2018, 2024, they were still flooding Black people up out of these places right here. So we got to go ahead and start taking this stuff serious. And even possibly if we can see about possibly trying to get in contact with maybe the mayor of that city or some kind of council person or whatever, and bringing them up one of these spaces and trying to bring these people up here and maybe get in the town or whatever and trying to do something to go ahead and galvanize this. I know ABC News covered it as well too, but Black media, and all you guys are part of Black media as well too. If you're on social media, all you guys are part of it because you share content, you share everything else as well too, guys. So we definitely might need to go ahead and try to do something on our part to go ahead and try to get this story out there even more to the masses and let Alabama know, because Alabama has a long storied history of bullying Black people as well too, thinking that Black people can't fight back as well. So we need to go ahead and do something on that tip. Big Hawk, go ahead and unmute your mic. Big Hawk, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so no, I was just trying to get an understanding on what their political makeup was at this time. But of course, I know that, you know, throughout the South, it always had a history, especially those states always had a history of that. And because the thing that I was going to say is what's happening in the realm of what are they planning on doing about it right now, or how are they fighting it, or what are they doing right now to circumvent the process for them trying to take the land? Or
Oh, you talking about the actual residents, or you talking about the actual city, the state trying to actually flood the people out and hopefully, you know, pretty much get them off their property so they can go ahead and get that property themselves, is what you're saying?
Is that their only support? Is that, you know, them doing it themselves, or they don't have anybody within the state or the government trying to, you know, call foul?
Well, based on the article I read, I mean, they did file an actual civil rights lawsuit as well too. And I believe they got some drainage that's put up in the city as well too. But you know, the drainage alone, you know, people have a lot of damage and stuff to their homes and whatnot. So, and then they had the people. You had 3 of them that actually took $5,000. Who knows what $5,000, what kind of repairs? If you got a house, any of you guys have a house, any property like that, and you know you go through some substantial damage or whatever, let's be honest, $5,000 is not going to cover a whole lot. When you got people talking about the actual structural integrity of these houses are messed up, sagging roofs and everything else as well too. The city is flooded with sewage. You have you got damn water moccasins and snakes and everything else up in the city now. I mean, mosquito problem. If you're in the South, you know how bad mosquitoes can get. So, you know, hey man, I mean, they you know, a town that you know, these people took great pride in, they're jacking it up. Nightfall says, yo, Newstoter, what did the article say was the justification for doing this again? If I'm not mistaken, the government has to justify a reason. The reason that they're saying Nightfall basically is that they were trying to extend a highway, take it from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. But here's the thing, like I said before, the actual the actual drainage that, you know, was draining into to these people, actually their actual property, you know, into their actual city. It wasn't draining to where the farmland that the white people own. It was draining here where the Black people lived at. And the Black people straight up saying, hey, you know, this is racist. You know, this is straight up racist right here. So, you know, and you gotta look too, it's Alabama. So Alabama's gonna come up with any kind of justification they can. Alabama, Mississippi, you talk about, I mean, these 2 states really aren't that much different than what they were 50 years ago. Yeah, Black people have made some strides in there, but let's be for real, it's not all that much different either. So I see Precious back up here as well too. King Armstrong, I ain't trying to hear that. Straight up. I ain't trying to hear that. So, bro, you might as well go ahead and decline that. You sitting up here running off your mouth, talking about cursing somebody out. That ain't even me, Playboy. Straight up. All that stuff you sitting up here talking, popping off at the mouth. I don't even get down like that. So you can go ahead and take your damn request and go elsewhere with that. Straight up. Let me go ahead and get to who wants to speak. Twiz, I know you was having some connection issues earlier. If you want to come back, Black Pressure, I got you up here. You not too far. You in Texas, but you're not too far. So, you know, if you want to speak on anything as well, too, definitely go ahead and let me give a shout out to Miss Trigger as well, too, for the contribution on Cash App. But yeah, man, I want to hear what our people got to say as well, too. Like I say, some of y'all missed the article. I did put the article up in the Jumbotron. Nightfall, the article is over there on the description as well, too. And on YouTube, it's in the description as well, too. If you want to read that, that article's up in there as well, too. But yeah, I want to hear what our people got to say. Black Pressure. I know you probably, I know you ain't got your hand up. Are you in the space? Or are you in there trying to get your workout on? What's going on, man? Have you heard any of the conversation so far?
Yeah, I did. Actually kind of browsed through it, glanced through something you had posted earlier. I'll just for right now say I'm not shocked. If you look at the history of that type of behavior, not shocked at all. What's the place where I know it's not flooded, but they're still trying to evacuate the black population. What's that place in Michigan?
You're not talking about Flint. You talking about Flint? Talking about Flint.
Yeah, I can see the same thing. Just trying to evacuate the black population.
Well, hell, let's not forget Jackson, Mississippi ain't probably. I mean, because you're in neighboring states. Jackson, Mississippi ain't too far probably from you know, Alabama itself. So hey, you know, these townships, these cities and stuff, like you say, from whether it's the drinking water, and they still haven't totally resolved that issue in Jackson as well too. DJ, my bad, because I know you got your hand up as well too. Go ahead and get it in.
No, let the people talk. I'll get it in.
Yeah, everybody right now, they kind of just waiting to see, I guess, what we gonna say or whatever. But I mean, if you want to add something in there, go ahead. Yeah, Nightfall, Flint, and Jackson, like I say, and then you know who knows how. I mean, there's probably literally hundreds of these cities out there like that as well, to water issues and everything else that the government. They always talk about the infrastructure, and they definitely need to go ahead and repair the infrastructure in these black communities as well too. Because we can imagine with the drinking water and everything else, you know, some of this stuff that's going on in these places here. Go ahead, DJ, you got it.
Sure, now, yeah, shout out to Nightfall over there on the post styles over there, all the folks that's over there on the streets, Newstoter. Oh, hey, man, how you doing, sister? You back? How you doing? Come on up here, you know what I mean? We miss you, you know what I mean? All right, so let me go on over here. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I got to get out the space to tell y'all this over here on Google real quick. So let me go to my notes. 2 seconds. Okay, Shiloh is in DeKalb County, Alabama. And just to get to the demographics, because we talk Black State information, shout out to Black State Majority, come up on social, Black State Room. So Shiloh demographics, white 79.10%, other race 15.4%, black or African American 2.13%.
Well, hold on. Now Shiloh's supposed to be it's a small black town.
I'm about to say to let that thing flood there.
Yeah.
If it's 79% white, let that thing flood.
Yeah, because they talk about now this supposed to be a small, predominantly black town.
Nah, bro. Shiloh, Alabama. This is Data USA, and this is also worldpopulationreview.com and a couple other sites that do similar data collection or whatever. They all saying somewhat similar or whatever the case be. So just to give you the Data USA numbers, and it's only off by like a smidgen per percentage. White 79.1 versus 79.15. Other or non-Hispanic 15.4, which is the same. Black or African American 2.13. So you know it was only the white that was off by East Data organization that's tracking the numbers. So that's that right there. So if they are flooding it, obviously on purpose, you already know the reason why. And I can't think of, maybe somebody will jog my memory. What was the other town that was in Mississippi? You got to meet your mic.
Hey, you right. Hey, real quick. Hey, real quick. Hey, real quick. I want to say you're right. Shiloh is a small black community, and it's a small black. They got a small black community there. So you're right about that.
Yeah. So you know, at the end of the day, you already see what it is, gentrification happening. You know what I mean? They flooding these people's homes out to, pretty much finish the job as far as being the main demographic folks, which will be white.
But I got a question.
Hold on, bro. Hold your horses, man. Y'all be wanting to go off, man. I don't never speak up here. You know what I'm saying? Just hold on a minute, man. You know what I mean? So that's that right there. So you already know the situation, why they flooding it, or maybe why the state is not actually trying to do any infrastructure, since y'all just mentioned that. For the simple fact, let's talk about this right here. Resource deposits in DeKalb County, Alabama. Mining in DeKalb County, and this is what Shiloh at the county of DeKalb. DeKalb has 64 identified mines listed in the diggings. The most commonly listed primary commodities at DeKalb are iron and aluminum. Now, keep in mind, those are definite components used in technology. Computers, circuitry boards, computer chips added up. So, again, we are in a chip war. We're in a chip war, y'all. I want y'all to keep this in mind. So don't forget that Biden signed off on the CHIPS Act. So not just the Infrastructure Act, but the CHIPS Act. But the Infrastructure Act, it only went to mainly white neighborhoods or places where black folks may reside, city-oriented wise. So those particular roads, towns, cities, towns, that they got fixed, but not the Shilohs of black America. They not going to get any infrastructure money because it's so small. You know what I mean? Or the percentage of the demographic of that town is so small. Plus they black, so they're not getting any state, federal dollars. That's that. So over here too, just to keep it with the resources, DeKalb County, minerals of Alabama. Gypsum, Alabama is home to a diverse, widespread variety of minerals with more than 190 mineral species occurring in the state. Determine the state status. Something else I wanted to read. Okay, yeah. So resources including limestone, granite, sand, gravel, clay, iron ore. The iron ore, that's needed, you know what I'm saying? And more have played an essential role in the development of our state and many of its cities since the early 1800s. Non-fuel minerals resources are mined in all 67 Alabama counties and contribute greatly to the state's economy. So what's under Shiloh, Alabama, resource-wise, that these folks found that they keep flooding these people's land and not really telling them the reason why. You know what I'm saying? Is they not cleaning out the gutters? Do they got proper soil installation, proper drainage, all this other stuff? Is the plumbing working correctly there? You know what I'm saying? Or we still going out and installing the Outback to take it number 2? You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, yeah, how much of the state resources are actually going into Shiloh? And if these folks is a small black town doing their thing, I'm pretty sure the vast majority pays some type of taxes. So with that being said, like, come on, man, you know what I mean? We already know what's up. Right? And look, just for the key word, though. Just for the sake of saying it, don't forget what the situation we just experienced with Bruce's Beach. You know what I mean? I met a brother that I know that's up here in my area. He do local community work. His last name Freedman. He told me his ancestors was the owners of the Freedman Beach down in Virginia. And they took that from him, you know what I'm saying? And been fighting to try to get it back for over a century, I think he said, man. So it's like, this is not new. Land theft, eminent domain, asset forfeiture, add it up. Go ahead, y'all got it.
Hey, real quick, I want to add this right here. And DJ, you was on point. Nightfall also said the same thing. He was saying, if I could put my finger on it, they have some kind of fossil fuel, oil or gas that the company wants to tap and not let black residents profit from. So y'all both, you both was on point. Shout out to my man Nightfall because he stay on it as well too. And also, like I say, correction, this is not a black Alabama town. It's a small community. So my bad on that as well too, guys. But thanks to DJ for clarifying that as well too. But yeah, it's a small community. It's a community that the property's been passed down from generation to generation, helping them get generational wealth as well too. And they're trying to pretty much just flood them up out the zone as well too. So shout out to you guys on that. Go ahead, Twizzle, you got it. Ellis, I see you up here. Raise your hand. I got you. I got Big Hawk.
He said the key word, and I'm going through this right now because I'm trying to sell my uncle ancestral land in Jasper, Texas right now, East Texas. You said the key word, and I tell everybody this, and I advise y'all this. And if y'all ain't never listened to me, listen to me now. Before you buy you a house, purchase you some land. And when you purchase that land, make sure you purchase the mineral rights to that land. You know what I'm saying? Because you could purchase some land and discover some iron, copper, zinc, and oil, but you may not own the rights to that. So you have to make sure you own the mineral rights to that land. You know what I'm saying?
In that state, if you in certain states, it depends on their makeup. You own everything from the stratosphere down to the core of the earth.
I can understand that, but you also have to make sure you have to go for that. Yeah, you have to make sure that before you to California.
Hey, one speak at a time, though, real quick. One speak at a time. Go ahead, Twizzle, and then Big Hawk, Ellis. Go ahead, but yeah, one speak at a time so we can hear everybody speak. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just speaking on this because this is what I'm experiencing right now. I'm in California and I'm trying to sell land in Texas. And they're ready to buy the land, but once we tell them we're selling the land and the rights to the minerals too, they just want to purchase. They just want to purchase the land and not the mineral rights because they want to get it cheap, and they think that they can buy the land from us and acquire the mineral rights at the same time too. So that's what I was saying. Like whenever you purchase land, make sure you have the right to the minerals as well. And whoever was just saying, is some states, you may purchase the land and everything with it. But then you have some states that's scandalous to where they will sell you the land, but yet keep the rights to the minerals, keep the rights to the water. Not only that, keep the rights to the sewage as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I was sharing right there. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Big Hawk. I don't know if it was you or Ellis that was speaking. Was it you, Big Hawk?
Let me say this one last thing real quick, just to close my little segment out, if it's all right. So, don't forget what they did to Bill Cosby, because he got an oil reserve under his property. They trying to eminent domain him, and it was somewhere else that they doing this too. Matter of fact, yeah, shout out to Sister Constance Washington. Go follow Constance Washington on TikTok. They trying to take her land in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. She's similar to what Twizzle said. She bought the property, everything else with the woo. And she put a down payment to have a house built up. This company called Down East City Homes, they stole his sister's land. They took her money, $100,000 of her savings gone. Worked all her life for it, you know what I mean? And she been fighting. So she on TikTok. TikTok already suspended her once because she going in. This a Black American sister from Brooklyn. We ain't playing. So yeah, look this up. Constance Washington. Go over to TikTok real quick if you got to, and come right back. Go ahead, though.
Was it Big Hawk? Big Hawk, did you want to say something? I'm gonna get to Ellis.
No, I just wanted to ask a question. So within that area, is wherever this you pinpointed where this Black community is in Shiloh, and is it only them being affected, or is it the whole city? What areas?
Well, no. That's what I was saying earlier, Big Hawk. That those Black people are saying. That's what I said before. Those Black people are saying specifically, it's their area. They're saying that the white owned area with the land, with the farm, with the land, with the farmland and all of that stuff is not having any issues with the actual drainage. So it's their area. That's why they filed a civil rights lawsuit as well too. So they're the ones that's being directly impacted by this by the actual expansion of the interstate and having water, having everything that they've been hit with sewage and everything else as well too, being flooded and got snakes and everything else, frogs, all kind of stuff. So it's their area that's been impacted by the actual expansion of the highway, and as they've always done, put highways in Black neighborhoods and stuff.
I want to ask you this. I want to say this then, because in that case, did you have, I don't know about your company, or what media outlet has done any kind of ground cover over there and gotten the news straight from the people, and what if they have, or where are you getting that from? But I do want to say, if it is true and they're only ones experiencing it, and they do own that land, they own and possess that land, and they own the minerals, we cannot, of course, we cannot let it happen to them, no matter how small. That's how it grows. It metastasizes from wherever it starts. So if it's only happening to them, then
well, okay, real quick, because the article is up in the jumbotron, and I don't know if you were in here when I read it, but ABC News. Yeah, ABC News went down there. ABC News spoke to some of the people in the actual town. Atlanta Black Star, one of our curation partners, they published this article that I read tonight, curator on the Newstoter.com platform. So I'm pretty sure, and they had a civil rights lawsuit as well too. So I'm pretty sure that they feel like that they're the ones being targeted and everything else. They live in the city. From what the article says, it's not impacting the white area, not too far from them. So I'm pretty sure, with the people, they're pretty much on point now. I can't say what other media outlets or who else has been down there, but I mean, you got ABC News, you got Atlanta Black Star, which is a pretty medium-sized media outlet itself as well too, pretty decent-sized media outlet as well too. So I mean, nowhere near the size, of course, of ABC News, but Atlanta Black Star, they do a lot of news and education, entertainment, all that kind of stuff as well too. So I'm pretty confident that this is the actual this is what's actually going on as well too. Let me go ahead and get to Ellis. Ellis, I don't know if you had your hand up, but I know you were speaking. Did you want to go ahead and get it in?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know where they got the information about the Shiloh. There's a bunch of Shilohs in that area. It's not in DeKalb County. It's actually in Coffee County, Alabama.
Yeah, this is Coffee County. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not DeKalb County. So you would have to go and look up the minerals and do all that stuff over again, specifically for Coffee County, because it's not DeKalb County.
Now, let me ask you something real quick, Ellis. The Shiloh, is it just a community or is it an actual town?
It's not a town. It's not even unincorporated. It doesn't even look like mentioned. It just looks like it's an area of a city or town where there's a lot of black folks.
So it's just basically just a little small black area then.
Exactly. In a larger town and city.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you for clearing that up as well too. And maybe we can find out. It's something, it's some reason why they're flooding them out now. I don't. In the article, it didn't mention anything about any minerals, anything like that as well too. So I can't say what might be on the actual what might be underground or whatever. But based off of the article, the people are saying that, hey, we're being flooded out and our white counterparts are not being flooded out, and we filed a civil lawsuit and we did this and we did that. So I can't exactly say everything that's going on there, but basically the article is up in the jumbotron for anybody that wants to read it. And this is, like I say, this was from Atlanta Black Star, but ABC News was also out there, and this has been going on since 2018 as well too. The investigation just wrapped up as well too. So recently. So let me go ahead and get to my girl Trouble. Trouble, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, Newstoter, shout out to you, WPF in the house, Twizzle, Black Pressure, Ellis, Big Hop. Black Majority State, Rilla, and Stephanie, and my sister Mel Cruz, who's the hardest working woman up on this app, all up in the house, and everybody else. Shout out to the Black family in the house. I came in the room late, just coming in not too long ago, so I missed the article, but I did just pull it up. I see that Shiloh only has about 329 residents in the town, and the black population makes up less than 3%. So that's not a whole lot. But it's enough for white folks and racism. It doesn't matter. They can have one Negro in town, and if white folks can find a way to be racist to that one Negro, they will. So what it looks like is just a classic racism that they always do. White residents, when anytime the rains come and they get flooded out, insurance companies and the city or state have no problem with paying the white folks. But what they did was, it looked like they came up with a whole lot of excuses for why they couldn't help out the black residents, and that's where the lawsuit comes in. I'm sure you've already read it, but I'm looking at it, and it's like they noted how all the drains from the new stretch of highway all empty out near homes in Shiloh, while farmland down the road owned by whites avoided the runoff. So when they implemented the new training system, it's like they purposely put them in the way that they did, so that it would, in actuality, flood out the black residents. And nobody wants to get up inside of a white folk person's head to figure out why they do the evil things that they do. But if they can cause our people harm, that's always been their MO. It says here that the state has denied responsibility for the flooding, even though the state is the one, the DOT, who implemented the drainage systems throughout the new stretch of highway. They've always done this throughout history, but again, we've been talking about things like this here, and I think me, Rella, and Mel was in a space, and this is what we describe coming into 2025 is the year of the response. It needs to be the year of the response for Black Americans. We need to start responding consistently to the harms and different things that are brought to our community. And I don't care who is tired of hearing Black folks complain about all of these different things and throwing racism up in the air. They want to beat us upside the head and beat us down with, we're tired of you all complaining about racism. Throughout history, it's always been A, B, and C. Well, we need to respond. 2025 needs to be the year of consequences. We need to hand out consequences, and there need to be consequences and repercussions. If we can't have a proper drainage system, nobody in town should be able to have a proper drainage system. We got frogs and snakes and poop and drainage in our community. Well, let's if it ain't but 9 or 10 of us Black residents, let's get together and get some buckets and make sure another one of some of these white residents experience some of this. Whatever your response is, whatever your consequences is, we need to be consistent with it coming into 2025, because these things don't happen by happenstance. White folks don't need a reason. But their reasoning is always just for, fuckery, with the F instead of the B. And they want the land, they want you out, they need something to do. They're evil. That's what they do. But I just really wanted to say that we need a response coming into 2025, and we really need to think about it. And our response and it can show up in many different ways. It doesn't have to be a violent response. It could be a methodical response. But we must start getting into the habit of responding to disrespect and discrimination and racism by any means necessary. As soon as it happens, let's not wait. That's all. Responses, consequences, and repercussions going into 2025. I land.
Real talk, Trouble. And what I wouldn't mind doing sometime this year, or this year is over with, but going into next year, I would love to go ahead and see if maybe we can get, some of the officials from Jackson, Mississippi, and some of the Black leaders up there from Flint, and some of the people maybe in this little area, Shiloh as well, too, and see if maybe we can put something together, maybe online, and like you said, also on boots on the ground as well, too, to go ahead and try to bring it, because the issue with Flint should have been resolved. The issue with Jackson, Mississippi, you heard nobody bring this up whatsoever during the election time whatsoever. Everybody was talking about abortion rights and all this other stuff as well, too. When you got Americans who can't even have clean drinking water, can't even take a damn bath, and all this other kind of stuff as well, too. The same thing that we've seen for the past 100 years, 75, 80, 100 years, 120, 30 years, destroying like Black townships, areas, and things like that. That's doing well for themselves. So I would like to see going to next year, maybe we can try to go ahead and coordinate something. If we could do a space, and even if people want to do a pull up in some of these areas or something like that, if we could go ahead and coordinate some of these areas where black people are catching hell in some of these townships and stuff like that. And it's all because of the federal, the state government, the local government, and the federal government refuses to help out and do anything about it as well too. So that's something going into next year, guys. I would love to go ahead and see if we can maybe bring some more attention to that as well too. But thank you, Trouble, definitely for touching up on that.
Thanks. And I just also wanted to add before I land right quick, 2025, we need to start doing something different. This country, Sister Mel had a space earlier. I'm sorry I missed the space, girl. I went back and ran it back. It was an excellent space. She said some good stuff up in there. Country is being sold off bit by bit, piece by piece. And it's only going to get worse when we get the orange one up in office, because he's already letting it be known in this country. So we really, really, really got to unify and start thinking of the things that we need to do that can help our specific collective of people out. Also, we need to consider the fact that history has never properly been taught, and every year that passed, they're constantly trying to take more history lessons out of the school so that they don't feel any ways about it. When you look at what's happening with Shiloh right now, this has happened plenty of times in our history. Yeah. That's my child's, huh?
Oh.
Sorry. If we don't teach our children these things, if we don't teach each other these things, because a lot of us learned a lot of different things about our history in these spaces with each other. So we definitely need to go hard next year, making sure that we are all, and our children are well versed on historical harms that we have faced in this country, so we know what it looks like when a next Shiloh comes again. People can say, well, there's only a handful of black residents in this town, but if all of the negative and bad things are happening to just the black residents, it's the same thing as if it would have been 500 black residents in the town. So I don't care, 500, 900, any harm against one of us should be a harm against all of us. But we need to get on that wavelength, and we definitely need to start educating each other and our children about these type of harms, because we're continuing to repeat them throughout history, but we're finding out about them online or through a news article, and we have a short memory sometimes, and we're like, well, why are these people doing this? But why is it happening? And I hate to hit you upside the head with a duh stick, but duh. This isn't anything new. We've been here before, but we need to figure out how to keep ourselves from continuing to go through this again. I want my children and my grandchildren having to continue to go through these things again without a roadmap of how to handle it, at least. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Trouble. Thank you. Thank you. For those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. For those that do not have PayPal or Venmo, that's also in the Jumbotron. Same for my people on YouTube. The Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter, and the PayPal and Venmo is up in the description. We're working on a customer portal link right now, guys, because we've been having some issues. A couple people tried to sign up, so I have to go ahead and try to get that straightened out or whatever. But yeah, definitely. For those that can support tonight, it is greatly appreciated. We got Black Pressure up next. We got Black Majority State. We got you, Big Hawk, as well, too. And I see we had a new speaker come up here as well. If you want to speak, if anybody in the speaker section, you guys want to speak, just raise your hand and we will go ahead and get to you. Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, can I get a clarification in just 2 seconds, Pressure? Shiloh, Alabama is in DeKalb County, not Coffee. That could be a typo on the article or wherever y'all might have read it at. It's in DeKalb County. It's found.
Okay, Shiloh is actually in Elba City, which is off the 84 through southeast Alabama, brother. It's in Coffee County.
Geographically. Northeast. Hold on, man.
Yeah, the article did say Coffee County.
It's in the city of Elba, Alabama, brother. I'm actually looking at the property records right now.
Again, Shiloh is in DeKalb County, Alabama, yo. Don't say I was just.
Yes. But it's also
Sand Mountain. It says it's in DeKalb County at the top of Sand Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, there's multiple Shilohs, but this particular Shiloh is in southeast Alabama. It's in Elba City in Coffee County, Alabama.
There's no Shiloh in Coffee County either.
Because there is no Shiloh city. It's not even a city. It's not a town. It's just a community.
Well, the town, no. Look it up. Township is in DeKalb County, sir.
Okay, well, real quick, this okay, real quick, this is what we'll do. Check ABC News. ABC News did an article on it. I'm pretty sure if ABC News has it in Coffee County or DeKalb or whatever, then that's where it'll be at. But check that up. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get to some of the hands up here. Let me go ahead and get the pressure and get Black Majority State, Big Hawk, the other speaker as well, to the school of XY. I'll get to you as well too. But go ahead, pressure. You got it.
All right, so check this out, Black fam. So I want everybody to go to the Purple Pill, and I shared some photos in the Purple Pill. At first glance, anybody with any common sense will look at those photos and say, "Oh, those are photos of a town that got flooded. Maybe a hurricane or a storm came through, flooded the town." But if you look at the last screenshot, and I used a red highlighter to circle, you would be surprised. It's a town called Deweyville, Texas. So I'm from Beaumont, Texas. So the place it's not even a city. It's like a small town. It is 30 minutes northeast of where I grew up. If you look at, like I said, go to the Purple Pill and look at those pictures. Those people had water to the roofs of their houses. Some of the houses were totally submerged under the water. And like I said, you would look and say, okay, this was flood, natural disaster, hurricane, something like that. No, this is my personal experience with the subject matter here. The state opened the dams and flooded that whole damn city. The river authority opened the dam, flooded the whole city. Literally, the school was underwater. The school had water to the roof. You can, like I say, look at those pictures. The town tried to sue the river authority. They're like the federal government. Yeah, they're like you can't see.
I don't see nothing in the jumbotron.
It's in the
He said in the Purple Pill, but go ahead, pressure.
But if you look at like I said, those people, some of the houses were totally underwater. But come to find out, they opened the dam. It's what's the name of that dam? I should know. I grew up in the damn area. I forgot the name of that dam. The Toledo Bend Dam. I think that's what it is. I think it's Toledo Bend. Like I said, they opened the dam and flooded the city. And their excuse was, well, the dam was about to overflow. They had a thunderstorm that came through. That's just like a cup overflowing. Yeah, some water will come over the top, but the whole damn cup is not going to turn over. And they flooded that whole city. Well, a few years later, come to find out, they found crude oil under the ground in that area. So putting on my 10-4 proof. I think that's the reason they flooded that town.
Hey, Big Hawk, wait for a second. Hold on for a second, Big Hawk. Mute your mic real quick because you got that feedback too. But let pressure finish, and we'll get to you. I'm gonna get the Black Majority State, and then I'll get to you after that as well.
So, like I say, just everybody check those pictures out. That's my personal experience with the subject matter. That's why I said the first time I wasn't shocked by hearing about the little town in Alabama. Not shocked at all because the city 30 minutes east of me. They actually did that, and I knew a couple of guys, the white guys, but I knew a couple of guys that were from there, and they said they tried to sue the river authority, and they're like the president or the federal government. You can't sue them; they're immune to lawsuits. So I'll mute up and listen.
All right, appreciate that pressure. Let me go ahead and get the Black Majority State. Big Hawk, I got you next. I got you the school of X as well too. After that as well too. Black Majority State, how you doing tonight?
Hello, Newstoter, Big DJ, all the folks, all the family in space. So this story reminds me of something I posted a couple of years ago about a town in Mississippi in the Gulfport area where they had essentially they did some highway reconstruction, and it flooded a historical black town. So I think Ms. Trouble was essentially asserting that this is a process. They have engineers who actually design these roads, these roadways, the construction. The people are already out protesting before they do the work. They already kind of have a sense of what's about to happen. They're protesting, complaining all the way through the process. The work gets done. It still floods out the black neighborhood, the black areas. And then they spend years after that trying to get it corrected. So this is a process in these deep southeastern states. It is violently racist, and the only way we're going to be able to overcome that is we got to take over. I understand the firefighter mentality of there's a fire over there, let's put that out. There's a fire over there, let's put that. There's a fire. There's going to be a million fires. There's not going to be enough firefighters to put out all these fires. If you really want to have enough critical mass to be effective, we have to focus on one fire, and we got to bring all the firemen to that one location, and we got to clear the path permanently, and then that will actually inspire, produce, create the environment where you can start to put out these other fires. But as long as we're just running around, scattered around, the Alabama prison system is DOJ's into that. You can actually go on the DOJ website and put in Alabama, and thousands of search items come up. There was something that I saw that I thought was interesting on that DOJ site. There was, earlier this year, some sociopath put a pipe bomb with nails in it in front of one of the Alabama state houses, targeting some politician down there. People who live there, salute to them. They lived, they survived, they didn't flee. They've been through the process. They know what it is. People that may choose to move into those places, you got to tread lightly. You got to be in position to defend yourself. And I'm going to be very bluntly honest. You got to be prepared to walk away if the people don't want that to occur. They don't want the changes to occur, or it becomes so overly clear that your life is in jeopardy. Robert F. Williams, the writer of Negroes with Guns, who was the first president of the Republic of New Africa, who actually was in exile, who left the country because his life was in jeopardy, ultimately did get the chance to come back. But these are very real, very serious environments, and the people on the ground that are dealing with them, they do need our help. But like the woman who tried to help in New Bern, Alabama, who was on that app, who's just a community activist from the north, they tried to burn. They didn't try to. They actually burned her house down. She's lucky her kids, and she was not in the house as they were burning it down. That just happened earlier this year. So I just want people to be mindful. These are very serious issues. I encourage anybody who really wants to get on the ground to get on the ground. There's not a whole lot that we're going to be able to do from the internet, unfortunately. And that's the sad reality of what's going on. On top of the fact that these people are trying to commoditize water. The price of water is going through the roof. And I don't know what Alabama's issues are when it comes to water, but this is becoming a global issue where they want to increase the price of water. They want to put it on the stock market. They want to commoditize it, and it's going to be unaffordable for people to drink water, and they do not care. So we got a lot of issues out in front of us. But shout out to the family, and my prayers go out to them and the people who do get involved. Just be prepared for the battle out and with that.
All right. Thank you, Black. Let me go ahead and get to Big Hawk. Big Hawk, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this was an issue that happened like 6 years ago. So it started underneath the Trump administration, and the people there are trying to see if, this administration or the Trump administration can do anything about it. Now, I do understand that we are moving into an age of technocrats, and a technocracy. So the making and building of machines is going to become more in demand, especially when you have a chip war, chip battle. There's a couple of so on a geopolitical level, there may be something that forces this to happen, but at the same time, we have to protect ourselves and make sure that we get paid off of the back end of what we're doing. Now, the thing is those people that's in that city. I don't know if it's just the black residents, but more counties and surrounding counties, or however far that mineral deposit may go, they're going to have, because with the one thing how they get in there is they start off doing it to black people, and this is a litmus test to see, if racism still works for them. But later on, as it metastasizes, they're going to start doing it to other white folks or whoever may be in their way. So these idiots need to be aware of that problem. That this is an ecosystem problem, and if they don't fix it, they're next. You know what I'm saying? So they have to be aware that this is happening to them. Another thing is they're bringing back drilling, and they've had a couple of government parcels of land that are actually being prospected on for lithium deposits and things of that nature. So that's right here in America, and they are selling it off. So the thing is will the Trump administration participate? Are they the ones who are involved with that? Because it didn't start happening until then, and so this is an issue that I don't want nobody to make no mistakes about. It's also a issue that you have to protect yourself as black people, because the way that the way that the Democrats or these people who are usurping the power from black people, or will use it as a way to get in there to get a conversation, or to way to get us to stop, or have them infiltrate something to happen, so that they could galvanize and slip in their agenda. So that's also happening too, though, because they don't report the real news, and they report biased news, and they don't report the news that that helps us. They report the news that helps them, or an issue that they have. So you just got to remember that. But anyway, there's some geopolitical things that's happening around the world that's causing a lot more just this going to happen right there in Shiloh. And I'll just end with that.
All right, appreciate that. I guess the person that was up at a school of so and so, they must have dropped down or whatever. So let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I see DJ want to speak. DJ, you want to say something? No. Okay. White hand. What was I gonna say? Right. I agree with what Black Majority has stated. And
I did have a question. What I don't remember who said it, or
hey, Big Hawk. Hey, Big Hawk. Yeah, let me go ahead and get the Trouble, because she was just speaking. I don't know if you can hear her, but go ahead, Trouble.
Yeah, Big Hawk.
Is she speaking?
Yeah, she's speaking. You may have to drop down, Big Hawk, and come back up if you can't hear her. Go ahead, Trouble.
Sorry. I just want to agree with what Black Majority says. I forgot what it was. Kamala had said something a while back, and people had caught it and posted it when she had, and I guess she was trying to make it seem like it was a slip, but it wasn't. But she had said out of her own mouth something about there being a wars soon when it comes to water, and that water was definitely getting ready to be a commodity. And so we really have to listen when these people are speaking. And I would even suggest people, never mind CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, watch C-SPAN a little bit. You watch C-SPAN, you know, it can be boring, but watch C-SPAN sometimes. Watch.
Uh-oh. I think we might be in the Matrix, y'all.
Right in our face. We just, you know, be on different stations or absconding from listening to any of it. But there's definitely getting ready to be something going on with the water. I don't care, most of the people that I know across the United States, when I talk to them in different states, we're all going through the same thing, water-wise. My water in this area has sucked for a very long time. So, and they're just now saying, okay, well, in the state of South Carolina, we just ran reports that all of the waterways in South Carolina, all of the waterways, lakes, rivers, whatever, what have you, are tainted with forever chemicals. And they've been trying to avoid saying just how bad it is for a long time. But baby, you don't have to tell me how bad it is. I live in the county. When I turn my water on and the hot water smell like hot ass, you know, elbows and you know, everything in between, you know, and I have to let it run for a while before I keep. Matter of fact, I don't even utilize it anymore. I boil everything that I need, you know. But and the landlord was saying, the owner was saying that it wasn't the hot water heater, you know. But whatever. And also, it doesn't have a land doesn't have to have minerals on it for white folks to want it. Sometimes they just want it just for the hell of not having your black behind on it. Another thing, just like the area that I'm living in, I've talked about it several times in these spaces, but there had been so many different things going on, and I already knew what it basically boiled down to is gentrification, because when white folks want your area, they come for it, and they'll do certain little things to get you out of it. We stay, when I leave out of my community, DOT is right there. It's right there. Our bridges went down in 2015 with that storm that came through. They have yet to fix our bridges, and we have cones. We got to go around. It's a whole disaster. But now that we had a community meeting this past summer with some developers who are coming to this area to bring a man-made beach just 5-7 miles up the road from where we at. So now everything is starting to make sense with why the property value all of a sudden jumped up. You know, maybe 3 years ago, you know, these homes out here went from $30,000 and $50,000 to $250,000 to $300,000. Like where? You know, because there's something that in this area that they wanted. I took a back road to where my kids used to go to school at in elementary. It used to be nothing but trees and woods out there. Everything is chopped down now because they're building more homes out there as more people are deciding to move to South Carolina. We're having a homes crisis down here because we're having so many people move. We've got one area that's slated to have 7,000 new homes, but they're building so many new homes, they're causing, you know, havoc in the black community with the traffic wise, and they don't care. And then they're building these homes next to each other. In my particular area, like I said, we got a man-made beach that'll be here by 2030. And so now DOJ wants to come and meet with our community about when they're going to get this bridge fixed. Jim Clyburn had got all of that money in. He was bragging when Joe Biden came in. None of that infrastructure went to it. The majority of the black areas in part of the district where I live, where he's at. None of it. Well, we got some trees for, you know, beautification in an area that, I mean, some of the things that they did over here, it didn't make sense. Why would you plant trees in the middle of the road for beautification when you got potholes down the road from it? Go fix all of those potholes and dips because you messed up the shocks on my truck coming through here. You know, so when white folks want something, they start doing little things. Last year, for the first time, I've been out here for 15 plus years. Last year was the first year that I noticed a slew of mosquitoes. It's always been mosquitoes over here, but they started coming in droves. Just you couldn't even open up your door without getting popped. Like what's going on? And then my neighbor had told me that the mosquito trucks was out here. I said, well, I got woods next to me. I didn't see them out there spraying. So I feel like they're releasing them into the area. You could tell with the nature of the squirrels, they started getting violent. Like since when did that start to happen? So I believe they're out here doing things because they want this property, which is why they held the community meeting with us to let us know about this new man-made beach coming up the road, because they're getting ready pretty much to get rid of everybody over here in this area. And so this isn't happening in just my area. This is happening across the United States as they make way for all of the new Americans and all of the new people that they want to put inside of these homes or whatever, what have you. So it doesn't just have to be minerals inside of the ground. That's generally a good reason for them to start doing things. But it's also when they see profit. They see profit in it. So we have to be careful. We have to keep our eyes open. And we, again, like I stated earlier, we have to know these historical facts and knowledges so that we know what it looks like when it shows up, no matter how different it might be from the last incident, but to know that it's the same incident when it comes to these white people, these pale people, and them wanting something and it being tied to the black community. They do not care about harming us when it comes to them getting what they want, when it involves a profit. And I don't care if the profit is dollar. That's the type of demons we're dealing with. So that's all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Trouble. Thank you. DJ, I don't know if are you still here, DJ? Because you had your hand up, but Trouble tried to get to you, but I don't know if you're in the space or not. Okay. Well, we'll come back to DJ. DJ may be stuck in the matrix. Okay. Did you want to say something real quick before we get to the speakers?
Oh, no, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
All right. Let me get to Ellis and I'm going to get to Beaumont. Ellis, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, what's going on with y'all? So, in doing a little bit more looking at what happened in this situation, it seems like it was the earliest thing I seen was they were talking about it in like '97. And a lot of things like this take a lot of time to get through all of the red tape. But the interesting thing is, one, it's been going on for a while. But two is this Pastor Timothy Williams. So I looked him up. He's on the front. They got two people they talking about. They got the OG dude, Dr. Robert Bullitt. And you got this dude, Pastor Timothy Williams, who was complaining about the water on his land. But then it says they settled and he took $5,000. And now he can't even talk about it no more. So, and there was some other evidence. There were some other residents that also took the money. Oftentimes, they can't. They have eminent domain and things like that. But oftentimes, when they're doing projects and stuff, they have to get some of the residents' permission to do some of the things they're doing. And sometimes they look into the property records and stuff. And this is an agreement that they found through an ABC investigation. You'll see that some people actually cooperate for some of these things to happen. So I just found it was a little interesting. I don't know. I know you put the story out. You thought it's a little bit old.
Well, no, I didn't put the story out. The story was and actually in November I actually tweeted the story out, but it actually came from Atlanta Black Star. So back in November the 6th or the 7th or whatever, the story got tweeted out. It was on the website. I put it out, but no, I didn't. I don't publish articles. We just curate from our curation partners, and we go ahead and we share it on social media. But no, I didn't publish the article. But go ahead.
Okay, so I put it in a jumbotron. I guess apparently earlier this year, Pastor Williams, which he had inherited his property from his mother or grandmother. I think her name was Shirley, I think.
Yeah, because we some of that stuff you're saying that some of that stuff was in the actual article that you're talking about right now. But go ahead.
Okay, so he inherited that property. They went on the run. They was talking about it, everything. Then he ultimately took a deal. He can't even talk about it. I think even in your article it said that the guy, they really couldn't move any further with the Alabama Department of Transportation because of the agreements that they signed. That their heirs, none of them can even hold the Alabama Department of Transportation liable. They released them from harm for $5,000. all I'm saying is that we often, like, all the times when you have the government doing stuff, you'll always find somebody that's complicit in some of the things that's happening, man. And we just got to have better representation and keep residents abreast of what's going on, right? But also, we got to watch the people who's speaking for us, because oftentimes you'll see people make a big stink about something, and then they'll disappear once they get paid. You know, so it's just something to look at.
Appreciate that. I think it was 3 people, I believe, from what the article said. I think it might have been 3 people that actually took $5,000. The only thing I will say about that is that, you know, people sometimes they get desperate. You know, their place is all trashed up. The area they're living in, you know, it's complete crap. You talk about sewage and everything else on top of vermin and snakes and everything else, and your structure, your house is compromised, your roof may be caving in. And let's be for real, $5,000 is chump change to any state government. So you're like, hey, you know what? We'll give you $5,000 to shut you up or whatever. So the fact that they pretty much, it was almost like they blackmail these people here. You know, they did everything they could not to give them anything, not to go ahead. People want to just go ahead and relocate some of them, and they wouldn't do that as well too. So, you know, you got the state government. We're talking about Alabama of all places as well too. Alabama still has a mindset that they're back in 1920, just like their neighbor Mississippi. So, you know, they're like, hey, you know, we're not gonna give these niggas anything if we don't have to, and who cares if you don't like it or whatever. Here, take this chump change and shut up. And you know, unfortunately, you know, people get into a part where, you know, they're in a bad place, and, you know, they're just trying to do something for their family. So I can't really truly fault the people for that. You know, your possession, something that was passed down to you generation after generation, it's in your possession, and you see that it is going to crap and you can't get any help. You know, the federal government, they put some kind of a sewage system there, but, you know, a lot of good that does for your actual property that's already damaged as well too. So I can't really totally fault them 100%, because, hey, people are desperate, and in desperate times, you know, people will do desperate things as well too. So unfortunately, like I said, you know, a couple people did take the money, but this is something right here where, you know, if the government feels like, hey, you guys don't financially have the money to battle us, or you can't do any kind of loan, courtroom battle or whatever, so go ahead and take these few peanuts and leave us alone. And sometimes, you know, people just out of desperation, they will settle. And, you know, I want to go ahead and let me see what I can do to patch up my house for this little measly $5,000 they gave me, or let me see if I you know, maybe can go ahead and buy something else or whatever. So it's just, you know, it's just an unfortunate situation, and the government knows how to manipulate people, be it the local government, the state, federal. You know, they got to play this game, and, you know, it's just unfortunate that, you know, whether they want to admit it or not, race did play a part in them doing the people like the way they did them. And you know, this has happened, like I said, the townships, communities, and everything else, neighborhoods, black neighborhoods. It's been happening for the past 150 some odd years in this country, if we want to be honest about it. Let me go ahead and get to Bmont. Bmont, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up? Yeah, it do suck. I guess when, especially us black people, we get taken advantage of and take like just a little 5,000, because you can definitely get more than that. But like you said, Newstoter, sometimes like just the circumstances people be living in, that $5,000 is looking like 50,000 or something like that. So they just take it. But trouble from birth. I know you was talking about South Carolina flooding. I live in South Carolina, and before you said the guy's name, I had assumed that you live like around Orangeburg or something like that.
No, I don't live in Bird. I be down there, but I don't live there.
Oh, where do you live at though?
I'm up here in Richland County.
Oh, I'm in Richland County too. Where you at? You like around like a Forest Acres or something?
I'm around.
Oh, okay, because I know a bridge went out over there in 2015 that they never fixed. But I know you had mentioned
actually, it's actually a lot of bridges up here that went out that they never fixed. But yeah.
Yeah, because I do Uber. I've been Uber for the last 5 years, so I know what you're talking about with like these roads and these potholes, and it's like they just now trying to fix this whole infrastructure with like all these people moving here and stuff like that, but they like 10 years behind. Like you just trying to overcorrect the situation and stuff like that. But you know, you mentioned Jim Clyburn. I've noticed too, especially since the floods, more so like in the last 3 years, Orangeburg, like Calhoun County around there, like floods very easy. Like, you know, you get like.
Did you see that flood that North just got? Right, that's like at the, you know where North is at the end of the bird. Yeah, North just had a bad flood back on that old Orangeburg Road. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't think that it would ever flood over there. That's where my people live at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you know, it was interesting. You know, I understand everything you're talking about as far as like the topic matter in general with these residents in Alabama, and then you know just being here in South Carolina and seeing a lot of low-lying areas. Like infrastructure is just it's not up to par in South Carolina at all.
All right, appreciate that, B-Mont. Ellis, I saw you left a comment. You said you think 5,000 was enough for him to be quiet about all the water on his property. I listen. We know $5,000 isn't a lot of money. I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was just asking people in general.
Oh no, I was gonna say no because $5,000 when you're talking about property and you're talking about an actual house and land and all that, $5,000 is chump change, and that's why they threw it at him like that. It was an insult. So I agree with you. I just like I said, I don't know the desperation factor that some of these people have. How long they've been dealing with this? They started talking about it. I know you said since '97. I think the article I had tonight said since 2018. I guess they started trying to take legal actions and stuff like that as well too. So I just don't know the kind of desperation that may have set in with these people and how hopeless they actually feel in this situation. Hey, it's like, hey, any little bit is better than nothing. That's the only thing that I could think of. So yeah, I would agree with you. Like, I mean, $5,000. Let's be for real. If your house has any real structural damage, roof, what is $5,000 going to do? I mean, $5,000 is not gonna do anything substantial to your property. It's not gonna do anything substantial for your land, anything like that. Especially if you talk about raw sewage and you got damn water moccasins, you got a bunch of frogs, you got mosquitoes, you got, like I say, everything is just crumbling around you. $5,000 is not going to do anything. You will have real estate investors come in and they'll pretty much swoop down that property and they'll get it for 30% below market value and take that thing and then renovate it. And this is the kind of deals that a lot of these people have in local government with people that's in real estate and everything else, do little kickbacks, throw them a little something for snatching up some of these properties and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm in agreement with you. Like, hey, it's nothing. It's not going to do anything for you. But like I said, at the same time, just trying to put myself in these people's shoes right here. It's got to be something. It just got to be bad when you're talking about in these southern areas like Alabama and these really wooded states and stuff like that. I could just imagine, in the damn summertime, if you got raw sewage sitting out there on your yard, on your property, the smell, my goodness. And then, like I said, you factor in all of the vermin and the mosquitoes and the flies and, man, it's almost got to be unbearable to live there. And then, then hell, who knows? You're afraid that your damn roof is going to fall in on you. And it's just one of those things. It's not a good thing, man. It's just not a good thing at all. Go ahead, Ellis. I'll let you respond. I'm going to get the black majority state.
No, yeah, I agree with you. But just to be clear, the man that I'm particularly talking about was supposed to be one of the leaders. He's actually in the photo with Pete Buttigieg or whatever, and the other black brother, Dr. Bullard, right? He has the bullhorn. So really what I wanted just people to kind of, which I know you guys already understand, is we got to watch the people that we put in, like, to put ahead to speak for us, because oftentimes they'll take not oftentimes, but we found that sometimes they'll take the money and then they'll leave the rest of the movement kind of hanging. You see what I'm saying? And also in these type of situations where the government or where you have an entity trying to buy property so they can build something like a bigger establishment, oftentimes you have a lot of people who are holdouts. So the tactic is to get the bigger names to buy out. Because once the bigger names buy out, it's easy to put the squeeze on the smaller mom and pop shops or small homes and things like that. Case in point, they did the same thing in my hood. They tore our hood down and built a whole shopping center. And the way they did it was they started by going to the property owners of the large apartments and having them sell out there. You see what I'm saying? Because once you're starting to take over these buildings, then what happens if other people want to hold out? Then it just goes into disrepair. You see what I'm saying? And then it's just a way that they're able to creep their way in. So if people ain't holding strong, right, and they're taking out the big fish, it's worse for some of the smaller houses. This man had large property. This guy, he's a pastor, right? We don't know what they even came at, the smaller homes, and some of the poor people may have been in foreclosure. So that's the point. Wasn't that they took the money. The point is just that we have to be kind of wary of people who try to, create a big, stink about something, right? And then they kind of disappear after they take the money because it leaves the movement sort of stranded. And as you see, they're already going to do what they're doing. And I'm sure there's people that's still there right now dealing with that problem. They didn't get paid, So that was kind of the I wanted to bring attention to that aspect of it.
No, and I agree. And I agree with you 100%. That and like you said about the representation that you have in Congress, that just goes to show you, for all the things that the Black Caucus supposedly and all these other representatives and Congress and everything else, you don't hear them mentioning any of this stuff. You don't hear them championing any of this stuff. You don't see them bringing any of this stuff to attention, anything like that. They're worried about teenagers taking puberty blockers, and they're worried about how many abortion bans and all this other kind of stuff. When you have something that's directly impacting Black lives, they're not really worried about that. They got to go and toe the party line. These Black people, whether they're Democrat, Republicans, they can't step outside of their party and say, hey, you know what? I need to do something that's going to be beneficial for my people. And I see my people in some of these cities, they're catching pure hell right here. I mean, to be an American, you're not talking about living in some kind of third or fourth world country. To be an American where you can't even take a shower, you have to worry about that if water gets in your mouth, it could potentially poison you and all kind of stuff like that. I mean, and the fact of the matter that you don't have these Black politicians. I mean, how often is Al Sharpton, as much as he stays on TV and he's talking about that, and I know he's not a politician, but he has his Action Network. How often has Al Sharpton addressed this situation in Shiloh? How often, and I know people say, well, they may have talked about Flint before. They might have talked about Jackson. But here's the thing. Until you start getting some real resolution, something really settled, you have to keep mentioning this stuff right here. If you can constantly talk about abortion every election cycle, you can talk about these areas that Black people live in, and that's really, substandard. If we want to be honest, for a first-rate nation, a nation like the United States, well, we know the infrastructure, it should be much better than what it is. You got to have people that's going to speak up and say something about it. So the representation that you have in Congress, they're just not doing it. They're just not doing it. And people constantly throw their support behind these people and stuff like that. And they get mad about a damn election, a presidential election. How many times did Kamala Harris mention this right here? When she was running for office, how many times you say, we're going to, in my presidency, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of all the lead in the water in these Black and these minority, they could even say minority communities, but they won't even do that. They're not mentioning any of this stuff right here. So like Black majority states said, like Trouble said, hey, you got to have people that's going to actually go out there on the grassroots and do this kind of stuff as well too, and actually try to energize and try to get as much attention on this situation as well too. But you got to go ahead and even with Trump's term coming in or whatever, you got to start putting some pressure on, like, hey, you know what? Listen, you talk about Americans, this and that, and we talk about immigration, that's great, and everything else like that. But hey, we got certain issues that need to be addressed right now. If we can't drink a simple cup of water in our house, man, there's an issue there. There's a problem there. Let me go ahead and get to a Black majority state.
Mic check. So I want to say, I want to start off with saying 5,000 is definitely never going to be enough for a situation that involves your home, your residence, even if it's a second home or an inherited property. 50,000 is not enough. Once they start talking 250 to 500 or more, now we're having a legitimate conversation, market value conversation. You were talking about things that I meant to mention the first time, bookworm. So when you have issues like sewage, and we talked about this before, I posted about it in the past, bookworm has been a problem in Alabama, and largely, in fact, to sewage, watering of creeks and streams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So on top of that, as you were alluding to, other health implications, asthma and other things that young children may be affected by because of an increase in pests and mold and fungus and everything else. Plus, if your house is being flooded, you're going to have mold in the walls, and so there's a lot of implications in all of that. When I first saw this story, I thought they were talking about, because I didn't really tap into it, but I thought they were talking about the family where this train company is trying to take half their land and eminent domain half their land and basically run a set of railroad tracks right through their property, and it is heirs property, so it's like multiple plots of land, which is, I believe, is another Alabama family that's going through that. Oh man, I lost my train of thought. I'll put my hand back up. Ultimately, I want to say this too. So the state, the federal government, the local township, whatever parties were involved, they are clearly victimizing the victim, re-victimizing the victim by offering them $5,000, by putting in clauses that make it to where they can no longer advance any lawsuits or any, in any way to get back or get justice off of any future problems or issues that are developed out of this situation. To me, for Black America, that is our problem in this country, is not only one, we don't have access to justice, full and complete justice, equity, and citizenship in the country, but then they cut us off at the knees by doing things like this, by getting us to sign contracts, pulling the rug out from underneath us, and then telling us, oh, well, you should have never signed the contract, or you should have had better representation, or whatever thing they come up with. I think that part is criminal. It's beyond immoral. It's inhumane and demoralizing on so many different levels. I feel strongly that we get control over the state of Alabama. We remove all of that infrastructure in terms of protection for the state. The state is held liable regardless of what the situation is. There is no more hiding behind contracts and legalese, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if there are people who are vultures in the community, they're selling out the community, let the community deal with them in the way that they choose to deal with them. But at the end of the day, the victims need to get justice. And it sounds like, from listening to everybody talk, that there isn't going to be but for the Department of Justice, and here's why I brought up that prison story, because the Department of Justice already went in and told them, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, and Alabama said, go pound sand. We're not going to do any of it. Oftentimes what I'm finding in these stories is the federal government doesn't have the authority to force the states to do anything. It's really a suggestion. They're not going to arrest the people. They're not going to incarcerate the people. They're not even going to fine these states. So you end up in this lengthy court battle where nothing really, really ever happens. And that's the biggest tragedy. So I don't want to re-victimize the victim. They deserve justice. They should get justice. And I'll land with that.
All right. Thank you, Black. Thank you. DJ, you still here?
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Yeah, hopefully y'all can hear me. So, just what I was saying. Let's go back over here to my notes again. Okay, so the main reason why Shiloh specifically floods, because even though it's listed as a township in DeKalb County, it's actually a valley, henceforth why it floods. So in reality, to reiterate what Black State just said, they're not going to do anything anyway, because it will be impossible to actually do it. You will have to strip the entire land and build up on it again just to get the infrastructure right, of plumbing, whatever type of groundwork, circuit electricity. You will have to strip everything down and build a new. It's a valley, so it's supposed to flood. They put our people into one of these areas, geographic areas, where they know it's not livable. That's everywhere across where there's a city town in the United States. Remember, the word ghetto is Jewish. It's Jew-knackers, you know what I'm saying? Not black people. We, if anything, we the house Negroes because we come from home. That was on the plantation already. You know what I'm saying? Or we was out in the field living somewhere in the valley. Ain't had no home, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, let's go back to the South somewhere. And if you ain't planning on migrating, if you want to stay out in California where the Migos is at and get a rat's fine, but if you got some money, go buy some property out in Alabama somewhere because it's dirt cheap. Acres is going for $5,000 and less.
Hey, real quick, DJ. I know you said it's a valley, but then they put a draining system. They put a draining system there as well too. Did they say to help curb the flooding?
Right, but it's a valley though. Remember, a valley is literally like, imagine your cup, your drinking cup. The bottom is the valley. Whatever you pour in there from the mountains or wherever it come down, like snow melt or something like that, or they got some type of dam or river and they decided to release it, like someone was mentioning before, where it's gonna go into that bowl.
So here's the thing, though.
The Devil Punch Bowl is really considered a valley.
But here's the thing, like it wasn't getting flooded like that before until they start extending that highway though.
Well, that's a part of eminent domain. And can't think of the town that's in Virginia. I think me and Mo on this, like we did like a back-to-back space on this. And this happened in like the 60s, 70s, where this town was eminent domain to build a part of I-95. And them people to this day never got compensated. So the entire stretch of I-95 has been paid through black neighborhoods for the most part. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, all the way down into Miami. Because that's what the article kept leading me and Mo back to, all the way down to Miami, where a lot of the highway that wasn't finished. You know what I'm saying? So folks that were in Miami, you know what I'm saying, Black Americans or whoever was down there.
That's true. That's true.
Same way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. South Florida, the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. This is the 95 is through, a lot of black neighborhoods and stuff like that as well too.
Right. Yeah, the Army Corps engineers couldn't even fix the flood in there. You would have to literally strip it and rebuild it. But go ahead.
But isn't that what the black people in the article was saying? That when they did put the drainage system in, that's why their area was so tore up, because the drainage was let out in their area.
Yeah, they were saying that, but I'm saying that because when they did that, they put it in their area. Now the Department of what's it called? It said that they also, I guess, they put a drainage system there in the actual area. They had to kind of help with the flooding as well too. But you're right, Trouble. They actually, when they started doing the actual construction, they actually had the runoff go right to this city here, right to that area. So there was actually the runoff that was coming. That runoff was, like they said, the runoff wasn't going in the white area. It was going strictly in the black area. So yeah, they put a drainage system in there now to help curb the flooding and stuff like that. But had they not put had they initially not did what they did, it would, whether they was in the valley or not, they wouldn't have been getting flooded like that. Yeah, you're gonna have rains and stuff like that as well too. And we know that all areas in this country, in certain cities, you have certain flood zones and stuff like that as well too. But once you go ahead and you manufacture it to make it even worse, then yeah, that takes it to a whole nother level. Go ahead, Black, you got it.
Yeah, man, goodness gracious, man. Shout out to DJ. He reminded me. I-14, ports to ports. This is a new highway system that's going to come out of Central Texas. It's going to come straight across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, over to Georgia. There's going to be a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of flooding. There's going to be a lot of eminent domaining. There's going to be a lot of communities cut off because they're not going to put in an exit ramp. Man, like, in the sad part, here's the saddest part. There's a lot of opportunity for contracts, opportunity for employment. We're going to get cut out of mostly all of it, plus the simple opportunity of being in a position to actually designate where the exit ramps are into the black communities so that we could benefit off of that, like in Detroit, where they essentially cut off a section of Detroit, the black neighborhood of St. Louis, cut that. I mean, we're in this repetitious cycle. It's happening in real time. The future plans all say they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and there's literally nothing we can do about it. Man, dear God, so hope and pray that people get active. People get activated. Because I remember talking about this in the past, and that woman who was in New Bern, I believe she said she had already started hearing about them buying up property in this lane of this interstate highway that's already planning to come through there. So, you know, it's unfortunate.
Go ahead, DJ. You got it.
Just a little slight article I found over here, and I'm not going to read all of it. Hold on, just go back up. Okay, so first threats from highway flooding and now a natural gas pipeline. What's next for the Black Shiloh community? See this. Pastor Timothy Williams, I am a home and business owner in Elba, Alabama's Shiloh community. The stormwater flooding of U.S. Highway 84 is undermined my house's foundation, causing it to sink. It has already sunk nearly 2 feet. Sometimes you can hear the house settling in the ground. This is our home. We are here long before US 84 highway was built into an elevated 4-lane highway in 2018. Shiloh did not flood before the highway was built. The Alabama Department of Transportation constructed the highway less than 40 feet from the homestead I inherited from my grandmother. Sadly, I see my inheritance slowly sinking into the red Alabama mud as my children's American dream being washed away and stolen. This is happening all because of the constant flooding caused by the highway stormwater drainage system that dumps water onto my property and my Black Shiloh neighbor's property. The question is why? And there's a whole bunch of other stuff the pastor is saying right here too. But if y'all want to comment on what he just said about his own home, you know. And the main part of this article right here, hopefully y'all can still hear me, is he also said to add insult to injury, my family is also threatened by the Southeast Gas Company natural gas pipeline that's just 8 feet away from my house. So if it ain't the water gonna get them, it's the gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got double jeopardy there. Myron, you just came up here. Did you want to speak? Because we're going to be getting ready to close this space out here in a second. Did you want to say something? Myron.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. It's sad to hear what everyone had to say about a particular situation down there. All I want to say is, brothers, from the bottom of my heart, the energy we have to focus and to what you got to do in your people, do in your particular situations, aggregate your funds or whatever, and not focus it completely on social media. Social media is the outlet. That's only like 5%, 2%, but the other 97% got to be really focused on getting on your local politics and government. And I'm sure most of you already know that. I'm not trying to act like I'm coming up here and teaching something, but they have a way. It seems like these people have a way of misdirecting where we focus our energy at. They have a way of deterring us, focusing us, misdirecting us, the way we focus our energy at. And right now, simply they're trying to make us all focus our energy to social media. And this is not where it's going to get done. You're going to have to get down, really get nitty gritty, really get into those law books or whatever books in your area that pertains to the situations that you're dealing with, and get it on a local, lawful level. And so it don't fall for the distractions and everything's going on social media. That's all I had to say. One love.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what people already said in the space as well too. But let's also not forget the power of social media. It's a reason come election time they spending billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars online whether it's TV advertisement, whether it's social media engagement and stuff like that as well too, whether it's going to these YouTube channels, these politicians and doing interviews and stuff like that too. So yeah, everything can't be solved from social media, but it can help to galvanize and it can help for you to strategize as well too, where you can go out there and you can put boots on the ground. You can do stuff as well too. So yeah, social media for the foreseeable future is going to play a huge impact on the way we gather and collect information and you know the way things are viewed as well too. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's a tool like many other tools. You just go ahead and you use it. But the power of social media is pretty powerful as well too.
Yes, sir. Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not powerful, but the thing is, they got us. It seemed like they got us in a zone over a long time. The majority of us are doing more speaking than action. So yes, this is a powerful tool to get the message for us to know what's going on in all the different directions. But it has to be galvanized in those particular areas where people actually take action. Because talking social media will all of us know what's going on in all the different areas of our country, what our different people's going through is very, very important so we can be aware of it. But all of us can't be in all those specific places at the same time. So my point, what I'm just trying to say is those people in that area really have to take action. And they can't look for no savior. A lot of us have the savior complex. That savior complex is why we're still in the position where we are. We have to realize that we're our own savior. So those people got to get out of the mindset that somebody, a leader like Tariq Nasheed or whoever it is, I'm just throwing that as an example.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. You know, I mean, and you're talking about a savior complex. First, I mean, I don't know if you read the article. I don't know if you heard the article. I don't know if you heard us reading it or whatever, discussing it. But the situation that's happening to these black people in this town. These black people are not sitting up here waiting on a savior. You know, they took it.
That's not what I
mean. But real quick, let me finish, sir. Let me finish real quick. Just the fact that.
My apologies. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're doing what they can do. You know, they're in the state of Alabama, and like I say, Alabama is still Alabama. Let's not forget that. They went ahead. They filed a civil lawsuit. You know, they got the federal government involved as well too. There's a very tiny group of black people in a very tiny community, a very tiny town. So, you know, they're trying to do things as well too. But, you know, I mean, I don't think they're looking around and they're just saying, you know what, we're not going to do anything and we're looking for a savior.
No. I'm just saying, it's probably what I'm guessing. I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, correct me. It's probably a minority trying to help the majority of that community. We gotta somehow. I feel as we have to somehow get more people involved in our communities in the movement. All of us are not going to be united on all fronts, but we have strength is in numbers. And if whoever in that community, they got to reach out to that community so their voices, so they can scream up and more people can hear what's going on in that area. What I'm saying is a handful of people who's very devout and very, and focused can't save 10%. Ain't gonna be able to save 90%. Let me just put it like that. It's just not going to happen that way.
Well, I'm just gonna, like I say, the city, the area is pretty small, so I can't. We you know, unless we actually been there to actually visit. We can't say if it's a tiny percent of people that's participating or it's a large percent. We don't know. From what it seems like, you know, we just.
It's always a minority sacrifice.
But you can't. But you're making assumptions, and you don't know that for a fact.
That's the minority. No, I know that, bro. I'm talking. No, you're taking it out of context. What I'm saying is, it's always. I spoke to this white woman the day before yesterday, right? And she told me, we was at the bar, and this heifer had the nerve to tell me that people want you to make decisions and think for them. And I had to slam this white woman down, right? Who made that notion. What I told her is like, no, that's definitely not the case. She wasn't talking specifically to black people. She was saying in general. She said, people want you to make decisions for them. I'm like, no. You got people locked down on 10, 12 hours. 12. You got the majority of people who's working 10, 12 hours a day, maybe two jobs, you know, at the same time, who don't have the time to learn everything, all the particulars, all the variables and everything going on in the world at that time. So they look for somebody who identifies as them, who is trying to project themselves to somebody who looks like them, who is on their level, to give them the good information. So social media creates these people, not social media, but mainstream media, Hollywood, and everybody creates these behavioral icons and resemble these people and make them look like they're somebody that's just like me, when really they're not. And it makes them docile, and it makes them feel like these people are pushing for them, when really they're not. They're just really trying to pacify them, make them stay in the same place, and stay like a gerbil running in place. So I was telling her that y'all got the system, and she couldn't argue that. The majority of people don't want you to think for them. It's just they work down, they walk down with work, taking care of the kids, so they can't be out here reading all day in think tanks, figuring out how to control the 90%. While you in mid-management and up is thinking about how to manage those who's mid-management and down. And she knew exactly what I was talking about, and she was there, coach, like, you're right. So it's a game in all this shit. So all I'm trying to say from the bottom of my heart, bro, is like, it's some sacrifice we have to do. We have to put down maybe the TV, because we're from behind. When you're from behind, you got to sacrifice all those things you really like to do. So you got to sacrifice the TV, those shows, all those things that give us pleasure. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to land my plane. We got to make that which we hate something we love. We always been, I'm 49 years old, be 50 next month. We've been saying that the best way to keep a secret from a black man is to put it in a book. So the black man, if we have an issue that maybe we don't, wherever in the books don't gravitate to us and we don't like picking it up, that which we hate, we have to make it something we love. And that's the only way we're going to conquer this. We must turn that which we hate to do, that which we don't like to do, into something we love to do. Because the three basic ways we learn in this world is through sight, experience, and repetition. And I'll land right there.
Hey, so let me ask you real quick before you land. Before you land real quick. Let wait, hold on real quick. Hold on real quick.
Yes, sir.
The situation that's going on in this place, Shiloh, tell me exactly what would you do? What would you do to go ahead and rectify this situation and get everybody? Well, I mean, but sir, you're giving us all of these antidotes to exactly what will remedy this problem and everything else like that. But you're saying that, but one minute you're saying we need to do this, we need to do that. So I'm asking, if you were in the same shoes of these people right here, what would you do?
Okay, am I saying something wrong? Am I saying something that's like?
Well, I'm asking you, sir. You're giving. I'm saying. Well, give us some examples of what will you do? What would you do?
I already answered that question. So you asked me the same question.
Well, I didn't get a straight answer from you. If I got a straight enough answer and I was satisfied, I wouldn't ask you again. That's why I'm asking you.
I said I don't know because I'm not there.
Okay. So before we go ahead and we kind of downplay exactly what the people in that town that they're doing or whatever, then we got to get. I'm
talking about all of us. I'm not talking about those people.
But we're specifically talking about the people in this town, though, the people that's actually going through it.
Okay, like I said, I digress. Go ahead. My apologies.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about the people that's in Shiloh. You know exactly what could be done to help them in their plight or whatever. Every situation, every township, every city, every state is different to a certain degree. But I'm saying the people that's in this little area, this tiny, minute group of black people that's in this area that's getting flooded out and everything else like that. I'm saying what exactly, because to me it seems like they're taking action, they're trying to do something. Can I say that every single solitary person that's in that city is doing something, in that area is doing something? No, I can't say that because I have not been to the city. I have not spoken to everybody that's in that area that's impacted by the flooding and everything else going on. But from the article I read, from the actions, from some of the steps they took, to me, it looks like the people are engaged. They're trying to do something as well, too. So I can't sit up here and just say, you know what? Well, it's just a minority. I don't know.
That's not what I'm trying to to say. What I'm saying is the only thing to help their problem is somewhere in that Constitution or in those books. That's what really I'm trying to say. And the thing is,
sir, they filed a civil lawsuit.
yes, sir. What I'm saying is, if you understand civil lawsuits, I'm from Washington D.C. This is where I'm at right now, born and raised. It's how it's framed, how it's structured, and what's in there that will get you over the top or will keep you where you're at. So the truth is, they have to figure out in that particular state and how to address that issue in their laws, in the books, in the statutes, and all of that stuff. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's bottom line. That's what they're going to have to do. Because it's a way for them to conquer that issue in the books, in the laws. Look, we've been trained not to be vigilant in those ways in the books.
I disagree. Hold on, Rella. Hold on. I disagree with that. The people are taking action. They're doing stuff. I'm like I say, I'm not entirely sure exactly what do you want the people to do. I don't know what's you just talk about Washington D.C. You're not in Alabama. Matter of fact, my man getting ready to come up here, Professor, he's in Alabama. He's from Alabama. So a lot of people sitting up here and they're talking about where they're from and this and that or whatever. You're not living in the deep South. You're not in the heart of old Dixie. You're not in Alabama. So to sit up here and say, in a state that's notorious for doing all kind of things to black people in that state, it's kind of easy to sit up here and say, you know what, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, when it shows that the actions that the people have been doing stuff, the people they're taking the right precautions and steps. Now, could they get some help from people and black political figures? Yeah, it would be helpful if you got some black congressmen and congresswomen to come up and step up and throw their support behind the people as well too. But to sit up here and say, yeah, they're not doing this and not doing that, yeah, I kind of disagree with that. Let me go ahead though. I never
said nobody's not doing this.
Well, you're saying they're not vigilant enough. To me, if they're not vigilant enough, that means they're half stepping.
No, you took it out of context. I'm saying collectively, you may not be. Nobody was talking specifically to them in that situation. But here's the thing. Y'all know what has to be done. We can talk around. I mean, look, bro. At the end of the day, in this country, it's about, let's be honest. Let me be 100% honest. It's about what you can enforce. It's about what you can enforce. That's the bottom line, bro. And and I hate to say this as a military veteran, what you can enforce. Those who's military veterans should know where I really get that. I don't want to say that all loud on this fucking app like this.
Hey, you gotta watch your language in the space though, man. Go ahead.
I did.
You just said effing. That's why they gotta watch your language.
Well, yeah. All right, sir. Calm down.
No, dude, you calm down. I'm telling you to watch your language, and you telling me to calm down.
No, sir. I'm not the opposition,
sir. I didn't say. Okay, first off, calm down, sir. You said profanity. I told you to watch your language. Okay, that was it. You should say, okay, I understand.
I apologize. I'm not.
Okay, well, you didn't have to throw in all that extra stuff telling me to calm down. I'm cool and calm.
But hold up, I lowered my voice already. When you said that, I lowered my voice. Okay.
Well, I didn't say about you lowering your voice. Hold on. I didn't say about you lowering your voice. I said not to say drop an F-bomb in here. That's what I said.
Okay, great. My point is to the people again is y'all already know what this is all about, my beautiful people. Okay? It's about what you can enforce. In this world, whoever has the biggest stick makes the rules. So that bottom line know what this is all about. If they pulling that, you're pulling that. If you can't get it in the books, they're gonna. If these people showed how they took this country, it's by force. Okay, so I'm saying y'all already know what it is. So if you ain't gonna do that on this online shit, you can galvanize as much as you can.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Watch the profanity. I kind of let you get off of something, but I'm gonna tell you now to watch the profanity.
I never just cursed. What are you talking
Dude, are you deaf? Can you hear yourself? Can you?
I never cursed.
Sir, you just said shit. What are you talking about?
Okay, my bad. You try to stop me. Okay, all right, hey, bro.
Yeah, okay, yeah, dude. Okay, let me get to the next speaker. Rella, go ahead and unmute your mic, please.
Newstoter DJ. So I just want to hear what Professor has to say, because to me, we would actually have to do the same thing that we did, when with what happened with Mason, Tennessee, and actually try to connect with the people down there to see what they have done, and then try to find out what organizations are stepping in from not just the environmental organizations, but also to see if what their attorneys are saying in regards to the hazard that is happening, because it sounds like they're trying to flood the town out by keeping it in a situation where they're unable to stabilize the land. So if they can't stabilize the land, and then also they're having issues with the piping, that's engineering. That is by design. So either they, over time, no one has ever come in and did a survey. They haven't had people do surveys enough for them to figure out how to actually save the town and protect the citizens there. And I agree with Black Majority. That is a state responsibility. And if they are suing, I would probably try to compare if this happens somewhere in another state. If they have sued and won, I probably wouldn't use like Flint, Michigan situation, because that's still ongoing. Power in this context, yes, power is warranted, but if you are not in any type of position to yield power, meaning the state governor or city councilman, you're not in the USDA there. Has anybody contacted to find out what type of agricultural agencies are there that are looking into what's happening to the people? Because that is a slow genocide. And if you ask me, it sounds like this is something that happened to a lot of the cities that end up underwater, like Lake Lanier, where town resources were taken within states, little by little, and then once they took the resources, they pretty much genocided the population out by water. So I think Louisiana might be going through the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. So let me, I'm going to just digress, and I want to definitely yield to Black Professor. And then I'm going to just go down and listen. DJ, if you have a space tonight, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Professor be the last speaker, and then we're gonna go ahead and get ready to close this out. But go ahead, Professor.
Y'all, this and thank you, Newstoter and DJ and everybody in the space. Real, thank you for yielding and thank you for dropping the knowledge too. But let me say this: this is ongoing issues in Alabama where they continue to defy the federal government, and this is what Alabama has been doing for years. They are doing things like this in every black belt community where there's a major urban black population. They're going to try to do what they can to remove that group or find a way to get that group out of that land or out of that area. And this is another tool that they have used. They use eminent domain. They run highways through your land, through the property. They do all kinds of things to make sure that they can get these people out of their area, out of their land, but they would not compensate for what they do to you. And this is what's happening in Shiloh. It's no different than what Rilla was just mentioning about in the other areas in other states. This is what these folks are continuing to do to get black Americans out of their land. I want you to understand this is happening all across the South, okay? Happening all across America. They want us up out of here, okay? And one thing I heard Myron say something about enforce. He's got a good point there. I'm former military myself. You got to be able to do something about it, right?
But if you don't have black state authority, what can you really do about it? See, the federal government has come in and investigated and told Alabama that they're going to have to compensate. They're going to have to admit to the wrongdoing, which Alabama, by the way, has not admitted to the wrongdoing, and they keep denying the wrongdoing. But at the same time, the feds have told them that they are wrong. But the feds are not actually enforcing them to do nothing. See, this is the problem, y'all. This is that white supremacy, right? Because you got the white supremacy on the federal level and on the state level, and it works hand in hand. So you don't have a black state majority to deal with these issues, to enforce anything. What can you really do? Except you're going to have to do what? Petitions? Because petitions not going to make these people move. Protests? Protests don't make these folks move. The only thing that made white folks move is you're going to have money and power to make them move. Or you're going to take something from them, such as money, to get them to do what they're supposed to do. But if you don't have any authority to do anything, and how many times we heard black majority say it, you can't get them to do anything. The feds, like I said, y'all, the feds been down here. It's been investigated. And there still hasn't been any compensation to this very day for the people of Shiloh or for any of the other people in Alabama where all of this stuff is happening. Alabama continues to defy the federal government. They will, and that's what Alabama does. I mean, you already know this is the land of the capital, or if you want to say it, this is the capital of what? The Confederacy, right here, where I'm at, Alabama. This is it. These folks definitely don't want black Americans to have success and to be able to prosper and live in happiness. I'm telling you what I see and what I know because I live here. And for any of us that live in the Deep South, we see this. You know, Newstoter right there in Florida. Ray, he's down there. Well, I think Ray is from Georgia, but he lives in Florida, so he sees it from that angle, from both states. And then you got, I think some other people, I think in the South there, I think Trouble right there, South Carolina. So all these southern states are doing this type of stuff to our people, man. And yet, what can we really do to get them to stop doing it? So we got to get, black state majority. We got to take over some states where we can get some authority and some power, because that's the only way you're going to be able to make moves. That's the only way you're going to be able to stop all of this. So I'm going to land right there because I know we'll take it to the next space. DJ, where is he at? Oh.
Yeah, he dropped down, but he's he dropped down to the listener, so he may have went to go do something real quick, but I believe he will be doing a late night space as well too. So shout out to you guys. On that note, guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close it out for the night. I know DJ's got a space that he's gonna be doing, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow night as well too, guys. So peace and have a good one.